Hello and welcome to the Anfield Exchange, and this weekend it's a big one. It's Liverpool v Man United at Anfield. We've already met them this season in Arne Slot's third game of the Premier League and we won 3-0. Goal from Salah, 2 goals from Diaz, and I think it's going to be more of the same this weekend. So I'm going to start this video off with what I think is going to be the all-important position change. Well, not so much a change, but the all-important position for this weekend's game, and it's going to be the number 9 position. I think Luis Diaz is going to start as the number 9. I don't think Núñez will play. I don't think Jota will play. Obviously, those guys might get some minutes, but I think Luis Diaz will be the preferred option up front. Joe Gomez got injured in the last game against West Ham, and I think it forces us to play Jarell Quansah as centre-back. Now, I don't think Jarell Quansah is the strongest centre-back when he's left isolated. I think by playing Trent in that inverted full-back position doesn't help Quansah in the slightest. I think Fernandes will drift to that left-hand side. I think Højlund will drift to that left-hand side. And then you've got, obviously, the threat of Dalot going forward as well. So what I think will happen is Diaz will play as number 9, and he will drop into more of a cam role like the Roberto Firmino role. That's something he's been doing in the previous matches that he's played in that position. And what that does, it creates a box in the midfield. So you've got Szoboszlai and Diaz, and then behind them, obviously, you've got your 2 midfielders, say Gravenberch and McAllister in this instance. And that creates a box in midfield which sort of frees up Salah and Gakpo to make those runs in behind and to do the work on the wings. It also keeps Trent defensively sound. So with Trent not having to come into that holding midfield role, it enables us to keep a back 4, which I would definitely be doing at the start of the game to keep things tight. You don't want to get Man United coming at you trying to get a result. And look, they've been on a bad run of form. But what we need to do is we need to take the game to them early. And I think we also need to be wary of our defensive capabilities and what we need to do to keep things tight at the back. So I think that's the reason Diaz will start up front. It packs the midfield. It sort of drags the defenders out. You know what it's like. If you've got a cam like Firmino, he used to constantly drag centre-backs out because he played in those pockets, and that's what Luis Diaz will do. And it also creates space for Salah and Gakpo to run into. So I think that's a no-brainer. I'd be surprised if Arne Slot doesn't go with Diaz up top. But yeah, I mean, look, I watched the Man United v Newcastle game, and that first sort of 20-30 minutes, well, the first half, to be honest, it was awful. I don't think I've seen a Premier League team play that bad this season. They couldn't pass a ball. The press wasn't working. They were too open in midfield. Defensively, they had 5 defenders and they were just getting opened up. So, look, I think a big part of that was he went with Eriksen and Casemiro as the 2 pivot midfielders. And, look, they haven't got the legs, if I'm honest. It was a big mistake to play them 2 together. I do think that when Manu came on, things sort of they got a little bit more organised, and Manu played well. I do believe Manu will be playing in that pivot with Ugarte, who was also missing against the Newcastle game, so it's going to be a different game to that game, and it's going to be tougher to break them down because of that. Also, I think Arne Slot, look, I'm getting excited about the second half of the season because Arne Slot he seems like a master tactician, and now that he's played all these teams already, he knows what to expect and he can make his adjustments to sort of counter that. Now, the Man United game is different. So when he played Man United before, obviously they had a different manager, they were playing a different formation, and it's going to be like the first time we've played these this season. So I think Arne Slot will be sort of looking, analysing, and trying to sort of see what he can change in the second half. I think, look, the reason we have, in the last few weeks, we've been playing very well in the first half, which we haven't really done all season. Arne Slot, he analyses the first half. He gets the guys out there, and obviously we try to win the game, but he makes his adjustments in the second half, and that's where most of his season you see an improvement. It's going to be similar to that. It's going to be the same. It's going to be similar to that in this game. I think we're going to be looking just to keep things tight in the first half, then make some adjustments in the second half and try and take the game to United. Obviously, we've got injuries. Canate is still not back, I don't believe. Bradley still not back, and Joe Gomez picked an injury up in the West Ham game. That's why I believe Quansah will be playing centre back with Virgil van Dijk, and that's why I think you need to sort of keep Trent in a more defensive situation until the opportunity arises to try and get forward where it's safe to do so. Diaz, Jota, Nunes. I think Nunes is a no-brainer. I don't think Nunes starts. Maybe it's a bit unfortunate for Jota not to start. I think maybe the Carabao Cup game against Tottenham will be a better place for him to start. It'll be a more open game. He'll be able to get more space. And I think that's probably more realistic with Jota. Key areas of the game. Salah, obviously. Salah and Gakpo, red hot form. They're probably going to be going up. So Salah's probably going to be going up against Dalot, and I would imagine that Gakpo goes up against Mazraoui. Interesting fact I heard, Man United, since playing this formation, so since Amorim come in, when playing defensive players, so Mazraoui and Dalot at wing back, they haven't scored a goal. And they've only scored a goal when they've played the likes of Diallo or Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony at those wing-back positions. So I think if we see Mazraoui and we see Dalot on the team sheet, which I believe we will, because they'll be looking to keep our wingers quiet, and I think we could. It's a good omen for us. I also think the Szoboszlai will start. I think the press that Szoboszlai gives us, I think, look, Man United could not pass a ball 5 yards in that game against Newcastle, and I think the more we can get on at their midfield and the defence and pressure them, the more likely they are to make a mistake and will win it high up, which will lead to chances. So I do believe Szoboszlai will start, and I think what you'll see is it will turn into a sort of four-man press with Salah, Szoboszlai, Diaz and Gakpo, which I do believe Man United will make mistakes. Ugarte, I don't think is the best passer of the ball. Kobe Mainoo, quite good at keeping the ball, similar to Gravenberch in a way. But yeah, I think when Ugarte gets a ball, you'll see us burst into that press and try and win the ball back. So this is my predicted lineup. I've gone with Alisson in goal, Trent at right back. I've gone with Quansah at centre back. I think, look, it's a no-brainer. I think he's going to come in, play alongside Van Dijk, and I think Robertson at left back. Now, I probably would have played Tsimikas in the West Ham game. I think Robertson could do with a rest whenever the opportunity arises. I do still think he's our best left back, but we could have done with resting him against West Ham. We have had a week off, so maybe that's in Arne Slot's thoughts. I do believe Robertson will start today. I think the two midfielders will be Gravenberch, never present. He's been brilliant for us this year, and McAllister, who for me personally was up there with the best players against West Ham. So I think it'll be Gravenberch, McAllister, and then as I've already said, I think we're looking at Salah, Szoboszlai, Gakpo, and Diaz up front for the reasons we touched upon earlier. Score prediction. I think we win. I think, look, it's a rivalry, so it's not going to be as easy as what people think it will be. My head says 2-1, but I do believe we will score goals. So my score prediction is going to be 3-1, and I think we will see a goal from Szoboszlai this weekend as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. Get involved down below, and I'll see you on the next one.